Hey YouTubers, Levi666 here. I'm showcasing my legacy deck that I've been building for the past month. It's taken me a long time to acquire a lot of these cards, and I have been managed to get all of these in trades, either with people that I've met at shops or at this one shop that I prefer to go to called Empire Cards and Games. You go in and you talk to Carl, the shop owner. You pretty much show him a binder and say, hey, just take whatever you want, and he'll give you prices on everything, total it all up, and you can end up with a lot of money in trade really quick and get some really hard to find cards and things that are hard to acquire. So I'm going to dive into the land base because I think that's pretty much some of the most impressive cards I have in this deck. I was able to get an Underground Sea, or here it is. There we go. Underground Sea. It's not in the best condition. I pretty much kind of cheaped out and tried to get cards that aren't in great shape at a lower price because they're just never going to go any lower than that ever again. So I picked up this Underground Sea. I think the price on like TCG right now average is around 180. As you can see, there's some water damage at the top of the card, and I was able to get this one for 120. So we got the Underground Sea, one Drowned Catacomb, two Watery Graves. Of course, ideally these would all be Underground Seas, but just the one in the deck that's fetchable for now is good enough. Next, I got a Glacial Fortress and four Hallowed Fountains. Of course, ideally I'd like to get one of these Halloweds over to a Tundra, once again to make it fetchable, so I'm not paying one for the fetch land and then paying two more lives for it to come in untapped. It's just way too much life loss in a legacy game. Other lands are Breeding Pool and Godless Shrine. Once again, if these are dual lands, make this deck a lot better, but these are good replacements for now. Single Island, Plains, and Swamp. Ghost Quarters right now, once again, I'm cheaping out because I haven't been able to find Wastelands yet, and the ones that I have found have been like the Judge promos, which are way overpriced, or just regular ones that were overpriced, and I wasn't willing to pay for them. Next cards, we got two Flooded Strands, and these were signed by the artist. I got these at a pretty good deal at like $70 a piece trade. Polluted Delta that I just picked up yesterday. I traded a bunch of Theros stuff in that I had pulled in my previous post to trade for this. A Liliana, the Veil, and two Thoughtseizes is what I ended up getting for all the stuff that I showed you guys yesterday. So I think I did pretty well. I doubled up on the value of my box. So, and four Marsh Flats, and these are all your fetches. These are just fetchables for the dual lands and the shock lands, and that's why you want to get more dual lands in here so that first fetch, to get your first like two or three lands doesn't cost you so much life in the beginning turns. So we'll dive into the main cards here. We'll start with the creatures. I got four Deathrite Shaman and four Stoneforge Mystic. These are the basis of the deck. It's called Deathblade. The Deathrite Shaman gives you awesome acceleration with the lands in your graveyards from the fetch lands. So you can do a turn 2 Liliana, a turn 3 Jace, and just kind of ride those to victory along with the Stoneforge and a really good equipment. Also, you'll be using a lot of spells. And if any of your creatures die, or their creatures die, you can start exiling them to gain life, and exiling spells for your opponent to lose life. And that's really the more important part, is just accelerating their life loss in this kind of control style deck. So next we got four Snapcaster Mage and two Dark Confidant, both being wizards. They can take advantage of the Riptide Laboratory that we have in the deck. Actually, I think I forgot to show that as a land. It's just a one of, and for one blue and one colorless, you can tap it and turn a wizard to your hand. The great thing is that makes Snapcaster's Enter the Battlefield Flash ability reusable, and you can just take advantage of all the extra spells you have in your graveyard. And if you're running low on life and you're worried you're going to die from a Dark Confidant trigger, you can return him to your hand and prevent that trigger from taking place. Next we have our discard package. I have two Inquisition of Kozilek and three of the new Thoughtseizes. I got one of these in my box and I traded for the other two. What did I trade? I traded the Dragon, the Stormbreath Dragon, and Xenagos, the Reveler, or whatever his name is. I think that was a good trade in the long run. Right now, I know the Dragon is high, and but Thoughtseize is a classic card. It's never gonna version I doubt is ever going to drop below 20 bucks. I'd be surprised if it does. And those other cards are going to rotate and they're going to drop in turn. Like, look at Wormcoil Engine. That was such a money card, and now they're like stupid cheap. A single Liliana the Veil. This is an exception of a card that's rotated and stayed high in value, but of course this is a card that has seen play in all formats, you know, sacrificing a creature and just continuing to make my opponent discard, as well as myself, which I don't mind so much if I got Bob refilling my hand every turn. Dark Confidant, Liliana, and Jace the Mind Sculptor are a really good combo in themselves. You know, you can use Jace's Brainstorm ability to set up your card so you try to put a land in instead of losing life, and then you just draw that extra card. And yes, this is a From the Vault 20 Jace that's foiled that I picked up. So I'm running 3 Jaces in this deck. I've got the Umezawa's Jitte, and this is like the promo Grand Prix foil, and Batterskull. I got a single Detention Sphere, 2 Force of Wills, once again an awesome card that I was able to trade for. I got 2 Spell Snares from the Modern Masters set, play set of Brainstorms for your draw package, and a play set of Swords to Plowshares for your removal. Now, the only thing I haven't showed yet is my sideboard, and I kind of forgot to set it up, so we'll just kind of go through it here at the top. Playing an extra Sword of Feast and Famine. Untapping all your lands is really strong, as well as forcing them to discard more. Next we have an extra Umezawa's Jitte. If people are boarding in artifact removal and setting up for your plan, it's nice to have an extra one in there. 2 Supreme Verdicts for the aggro style decks. Then I've got 2 Abrupt Decays for removal, just added removal that can't be countered, so good against a control matchup. I've got a playset of Meddling Mages. This is a nice foil one. When it comes into play, you name a card and it can't be played. So if you're playing against another control deck, it's really fun. You can... What's really good synergy as well, because it's a wizard, you can abuse the Riptide Laboratory. If you're, you know, inquisitioning and thought seizing them to get a card out of their hand, you get to see the other cards that you don't want them to use. You can drop this naming that card. Then later on, you play your Snapcaster Mage, flashing back, making them, like looking at their hand again and maybe seeing a different threat. So you try to discard that threat, but say you can't, you just return the Meddling Mage and then name that threat and have them, say, discard the other threat that Meddling Mage was covering. I know that was just kind of stupid the way I worded that, but it's just a really fun way to abuse all these cards and abilities. And I got 3 Thalia, Guardian Thraben against the control matchups and against combo, Storm and Show and Tell, or Show and Go. A single Disenchant, and this was just a regular, like an extra gold-boarded Flooded Strand that I use in place of a land in some of the tournaments that allow these cards and don't care so much. So that's my deck. I hope you guys like it. If you have any trades for me or any deals on some of the cards I need, like I said, I need a Scrub Land, 2 Wastelands, a Tundra, and I think that would kind of do it for me right now. Maybe an extra Flooded Strand would be cool too, or another Polluted Delta, and that would really make my fetch land pack pretty solid. But that's the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. I am going to do a update of my Elf deck. I had a couple people comment on that and say they wanted that, so I'm going to show you the update on that, because it has changed a little bit, I think, since the last time I videotaped it. So take it easy, guys. Use your ultimates wisely, and keep having fun out there. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you are new and you found this video helpful. Alright, peace.